So today I'm going to do my first ever long format video for you. If you've been following along, you've probably seen me in short posts or reels on YouTube and Instagram. But today I thought it'd be a good time to not only walk you around my garden and do a June garden walkthrough, but to also introduce myself to those of you who may not know me. My name is Danielle, and I live in the Indianapolis area, which is 5B, 6A zone. For those of you, just to have some context, maybe when you see my gardens and where things are at in the month of June. But if you have been following along with me, you may have noticed that I have two different gardens that I am working in, and that's because not only do I have about a 1/4 acre home garden that I oversee, but I also am the head gardener at a 150 acre organic dairy farm. And the garden that I oversee there is the chef's garden, and so all the produce from that garden goes up to the restaurant to feed our patrons. So I'm truly blessed as a gardener to have both gardens that I can work in and share with you. It truly is a passion of mine. I am a mom of 4 adult children and a grandmother to one sweet little boy who is about 7 months now. And so this season of life is truly a dream come true for all those reasons, to be a mother and a grandmother, and then to have a job that I love, and a home garden that my family enjoys the benefit of. The company name, Farmette Co., which is the name on this site, is a company that I recently started, primarily focused on garden consulting, garden coaching, garden maintenance for those that I coach, as well as garden classes. So if you're in the Indianapolis area and any of those interest you, please comment below. I would love to reach out to you and see if it's something that I can help you with. But I've been gardening professionally for about 10 years now. Personally, I've been gardening my whole life, and like I said, it's truly a passion of mine, and I just feel like the luckiest girl in the world. And so I'm so happy to share that with all of you now. I wasn't on social media for the longest time, and I would do videos for my kids just to let them know what I was doing, and I would always title those Mom Moments. So if you go back and look through some of my original videos, you'll notice that those are titled Mom Moments, because simply those were just for my children, just to give them a glimpse into my daily life. But it's progressed to more of you, and I'm so grateful for those of you who have followed along that don't know me. And hopefully this video will give you a little bit more of a insight as to who I am and what I do. And I hope you keep coming back for more information all about gardening, and follow along with me literally day to day. I'm just posting what I'm doing on a daily basis, and I'm really enjoying bringing all of you along with me. So with that said, I'm going to walk around my garden and, like I said, show you what's happening in June around here. So let's go. Here is the entrance to the garden with my sweet little pup, Basil, welcoming us. Hi. I have split the garden up into 3 zones. This first zone is made up of 4 beds with cattle panel trellises, and a rusty old horse trough with culinary herbs in it. And then I have this center bed that gets planted and has volunteer plantings in it that are different every year, and I'll walk you through that. And then on this side is the exact duplicate of the other side, which are for in-ground or small raised beds, as well as the rusty trough. This year for Mother's Day, my husband and the kids helped me with adding stone to our raised beds. Before that, we had untreated wood that, as you can see, has really taken a toll. It's been about 5 years that I did this, but we are slowly, as budget will allow, adding the stone edging, which I'm so happy about because our home is stone as well, and it just complements the home and the continuity of our property. So you'll see a little mix of both wood and stone as we start to replace those rotting boards with this stone edging. But I will start on this side of the garden. On the far right here we have all of the berry bushes. So we have blueberry, raspberry, blackberry, boysenberry, and it looks very unruly, but I am anticipating getting a lot of harvest out of this patch. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. I have teddy bear sunflowers, chamomile, a volunteer tomato, and okra here, as well as bunching onions. Those are just so beautiful. Architecturally, that is just so beautiful. On this side, I have newly planted radish and cucumber, as well as some butternut squash under here, right here. So that's going to be a really full trellis. On the other side is turnips. I love pickled turnips, and my mom does those for me all summer long, so I'm so looking forward to that. Cabbage. In here, as I mentioned, in the rusty troughs, I primarily do all of my culinary herbs and some medicinal tea herbs as well. So we have basil, arugula, cilantro, stinging nettle here in the front, summer savory, and a nice little surprise that I thought was not going to come back. I have comfrey, which is so nice for any type of bone ailment. On these two beds, right now I have the Beauregard purple peas that are just about over, although there's quite a bit to harvest still here. If you have followed along and you saw my other video, you will have seen me harvesting them, but boy, are they so good, and they stay purple as you cook them, which is such a delight on the plate. On this side, again, radish in the front. I have moonflower and loofah right here. I'm so excited about. This is the first time I'm going to be growing that, so we'll see what we do with that. A lot of Christmas presents probably. Get ready, kids. And we have peppers, all different types of peppers, shishito, Jimmy Nardello. Here we have smaller squash going up this rusty, what I think was probably an old dog crate that I found in the garbage and repurposed. The yellow flowers are Napa cabbage that I actually cut down. I don't like to pull things up when they're finished because it disrupts the soil. So I just cut everything down to the soil level, but often they will resprout and of course go to seed right away. But I've been just letting the pollinators enjoy the yellow flowers as the squash is coming up in that. Over here is a new area for me this year. I wanted to have an area specific for tea and medicinal herbs, and so this little star-shaped garden is going to provide me with that. And everything is new in here, so it's quite small, but right here in the front we have lemon verbena, which smells so beautiful, and then holy basil, which you probably can't see, but it's just coming up, calendula in that one, a mulch path, then feverfew and echinacea or coneflower, lavender in the center, and on this side we have clary sage, marigolds, and horehound there. And over here we have the bronze leaf fennel, lemongrass, and chamomile. And then in these grow pots and the bigger pots, I have motherwort, elecampane, mint, chocolate mint, and then a repeat over here of the elecampane and motherwort. And then I have planted some of the extra dahlias that I had left over from planting in the flower cutting garden, and I'm going to sell those at my farm stand, but those are just getting ready for that. And another new addition to the garden this year is the greenhouse, which is the Costco Yardistry greenhouse, and it really is such gosh, a great addition to the garden. I wasn't sure how much I was going to use it, but I really have used it a lot, and I started seeds in there in like February, March with the help of a heater. And I'll take you inside a little bit. You can see the racks with the lighting lamps hanging there, and all of my seed trays. And I'm starting a little basil here. Let's see if it's doing anything. Oh yeah, look at that. It's already popping up. I just planted these like 2 days ago, so I can take that lid off. Once seedlings start to sprout, they don't need that little greenhouse covering anymore. They'll actually mildew if you keep it on there. So, but that's exciting. I never get tired of planting a seed and watching the miracle of it actually sprouting. So awesome. And then you walk out, I have this little patio area to just sit and enjoy. It's a lot of times where I'll do the videos here. And then in this bed, which is a pretty big bed and it's full of weeds already, but it is devoted primarily to tomatoes. So all different varieties of tomatoes, from San Marzano to the big beefsteaks, all different colors, black, yellow, orange. A lot of the tomatoes are from Baker Creek, which they have such a incredible variety of heirloom seeds there. And so I love just growing a bunch and experiencing them and seeing which ones are our favorites every year. And then a friend donated these veg pods to me, and they were nice in the early spring when it was a little bit colder, and I could start some things in them, but I'm really not sure what I'm going to do in them. So if any of you have any ideas, I would love to hear. But I did plant cilantro and chamomile in it. The cilantro already has gone to seed, but I may transfer that chamomile to the tea garden on the other side. We'll see, not sure. Basil's over there in the dill. Basil, what are you doing? You can't really see the dill. It's kind of under there, under the weeds, it looks like. So I might need to take care of that. This is real life here, folks. I have weeds. And it's a constant battle, I'm sure, for you as well. On this side, on the other side of the peas that I just showed you, I have a lot of cabbage. This is the Chesterfield Chesterton Wakefield cabbage. Look at how beautiful that is. It's the size of my hand. Look at that. And it's conical shaped, which is so exciting. I can't wait to make a lot of sauerkraut this year. And then these taller ones are the Romanesco broccoli. And some sunflowers and some creeping Jenny there just for color. I'll start here on this bed back here. This is just a little in our raised bed garden that the parsley, flatleaf parsley, has really enjoyed, obviously, as well as the marshmallow plant. And this came back. I think I planted that as a 4-inch pot, and this is the second year, and look at it. It is so beautiful, and it has these almost like hibiscus type flowers that will start blooming soon. I mean, that tall one there, I don't know if you can see it, is probably 6.5 feet tall, 7 feet tall. And we use the leaves of that for a skin oil with calendula. And that has been really nice for any type of acne or inflammation on the skin. It's very soothing, but it's also so beautiful. So if you just did nothing with it, it is just a beautiful plant to have in the garden, and the pollinators love it once it starts blooming. And it was originally where the marshmallow came from. That's why it's called marshmallow plant. Just a little fun fact there. Here is Brussels sprouts, which are always fun to grow. And then at the back of this center bed, I have hyssop, which is, again, so beautiful. And it's the first time that I've seen it grow this tall. I normally grow it, and it's more of a mounding, kind of a lavender type growth habit. But for whatever reason, it truly likes being right here. And these purple spiky flowers, which I'm going to put my hand behind here so you can see, they taste like licorice. It's so good. But if you dry it, you can use it in tea. It's also good to make a tincture. It has so many benefits, antimicrobial benefits, respiratory benefits, and then the pollinators love it. See a lot of bees flying around and enjoying that. So last night I just harvested some with a friend, and we're going to dry it and use it, and I'll let you know how that goes. Right next to it is dill. This is a volunteer dill plant, but I like to just cut these tops off and dry them for when the pickles or the cucumbers are ready to be pickled. And then I've got that ready to go, and I'll just kind of let that continue to go to seed, and it'll sprout back up next year. And I just love the purple and the yellow together. That was not me. It just happened to, the garden just had a voice in that and said, this is what we're going to do, which is pretty spectacular. Down here I have more cabbage. These cabbages I grew by seed, started those early, probably end of January, and it's exciting to see them. They're just so beautiful in the garden. They're like flowers without flower petals, but I guess their leaves are what you would consider a petal if you were comparing it to a flower. Here is another volunteer marshmallow. I probably am going to take that out because I have that other one and it's so big, and I don't need this much marshmallow. But it is so beautiful. And tucked in here is a row of rhubarb that is doing really well this year. And then sweet peas growing up the trellis, which are pretty much done now in June. More cabbage, maiden in the mist, little flower. This self-sowed itself in here, and I just couldn't take it out, even though I probably should, because it's taking up quite a bit of space. But it's just so pretty. It has these like little bells and the little flower. It looks like a little little, I don't know, Dr. Seuss flower, a little fairy flower. And so that's in there, tucked in with some Savoy cabbage. This one over here is just doing so well. Oh, love it. And a volunteer sunflower, more volunteer dill, a purple cabbage, more Savoy. Here we have the beets, which I multi-sow beets. I don't know if you can see in there. I sow them really closely together, 3 to 5 seeds per hole. And that was something that I learned from Charles Dowding. I don't know if any of you follow Charles Dowding, but you definitely should. He talks about multi-sowing beets and turnips, onions, and they just kind of bunch and move each other out of the way, and it's just a great space-saving way to sow seeds. On the front side of this, again, more Brussels sprouts coming up here and radish. I haven't planted anything in here. I took out some overgrown broccoli that came back, but went right to seed, so I need to put something in there soon so I don't have to weed it. On the other side of the marshmallow is borage, which is a beautiful flower that is edible and great for the pollinators. And then tucked in, I don't know if you can see here, these little purple spikes are holy basil, which was actually in this whole area last year, but this parsley has completely taken over, and thankfully I have more holy basil planted over in the tea garden because I really love a lot of that for tea, and it just smells like nothing else. It's just incredible. Okay, so I'll start back here. Another little small raised bed primarily devoted to strawberries, which did really well. They're just about finishing up, so I'm assuming, didn't know the variety, I was wondering, but I'm guessing that they will probably June-bearing strawberries because they look like they're kind of wrapping up here. And then in the front was some self-sown bee balm that I'm just letting stay there because the pollinators are going to love it as soon as it starts to bloom. And bee balm is also good for tea and medicinal purposes. So here we have the back side of the garden, coming around to the asparagus bed, which you can see I have not harvested my asparagus in a couple days. Might be hard to see, but you can see here how they're starting to go to seed. This one definitely is going to seed. And that's what happens. Asparagus will go to seed fairly quickly if you don't harvest it, because that's what it wants to do. It wants to keep producing itself. And so if you're not harvesting it, and the best time to harvest asparagus is when they're about 6 inches tall. So as you can see, I've been a little tardy in that. And it's very weedy. So I definitely have been not taking care of this bed as much as I should have, but I did plant strawberries in here as well in the hopes that it will, oh, there we have a little gift right there, in the hopes that it will take over the bottom part of this bed and I won't have to weed it as much. Have some beans trailing off here that I'm going to redirect up the trellis, and some catnip here for tea and medicinal purposes as well. Catnip is a great tea for children and anyone who's cranky in your house. Maybe small, maybe not so small. So good to keep in mind and keep on hand. Beans are starting to go over the trellis. And on this side, some peas that are wrapping up. Oh, I said peas over there. No, that's beans, right? Did I say beans or peas? Anyway, beans are going up. Peas are finishing up. And we have some like 3 or 4, maybe 5 of self-sown sunflowers here. I really should take those out, but I just don't have the heart to. And underneath I planted bush beans and zinnias, as well as romaine lettuce. and borage coming up here as well, and more sunflowers. Before I knew the self-sown ones were going to go in, I planted more. So we might be selling a lot of sunflowers at the farm stand this year. Oh, I just noticed the white butterfly. That is the cabbage moth, which is going to go after all my cabbage. And thankfully, it did, all of the cabbage has kind of gotten a head start before they got too prolific. So I'm really happy with that, because I'll probably be able to get these cabbages up and going before they completely decimate them. In this bed here, I have some lettuce that I have not been able to eat as much as I grew, which is usually the case, and sunflowers in the front, zucchini rampicante going here in the front, because I should have put it in the back of the bed, but there was other things that were in there that I have since cut out, so I will trail that back into the bed so my husband doesn't mow it. Oh, speaking of mowing, I chose to not put gravel or mulch in my garden, just from a efficiency and cost standpoint. So, and it's comfortable to walk on, but it's just so easy to take care of in the sense that I just mow it. And I can even, when I'm weeding, I just throw the weeding into the walkways, and then my husband mows it, or I compost it in the back. You can see I have a 3 system back there for composting, but if I'm lazy, you can see I've got a few there, I just throw it in the pathways and we mow it over and it becomes natural mulch. But yeah, that's what I chose to do, and it's worked out really well for me. In this bed over here, I had a ton of stinging nettle that just has multiplied and multiplied and multiplied, and I cut it down and it's coming back again, which is fine because I do like to use that in all kinds of ways, teas medicinally, and even in recipes. It's great in bone broth. So yeah, that's something I just learned recently. And the sting, the little stingy pokies, when you harvest it, after you harvest it and it dries, the pickers go away. So they don't sting you after that. It's just in the initial rubbing up against or touching it while it's still in ground, that is the problem. So peas on this side, the purple pea, more of the purple peas, and then in here I had a whole bed of turnips, because as you heard me say, I love turnips, but my chickens got over the fence and got in here and dug up this whole area. So I'm sure those of you who have chickens can relate with the time when you either leave the gate open or they decide to fly over the fencing and get in here. It's something we're always watching for. So, and then this last bed here is another rusty trough that I have planted with tarragon, mint, some more comfrey, rhubarb, mint here in the front, some marigolds, sage, and thyme. So that's my garden. Thank you for tagging along with me today. From my garden to yours.